ask myself all the questions. Where are we going? What are we doing? How are we going to do it? All the questions.
I was a little anxious because obviously I've never been to China before. I wondered if there would be much freedom with what we were going to do. I was looking forward to an adventure, I think, definitely. I'm ashamed to say I knew very little about China.
I've travelled around the world. I've travelled to North America, Europe, Africa, but I've never travelled to the Far East. And to come to China has been a dream for me for a long time. To be honest, before travelling here, I didn't really have any great expectations in terms of understanding what I was going to experience. China, to see the country and the people of China through the eyes of the West, is still quite limited. So I tried to come here with a very open idea about what I would experience and what it would be like.
I've been in China for about 3 days. I've lost track. But so far, my feeling is that everything has been very intensified. Everything, it seems bigger, the mountains are taller. As we leave the city of Wenzhou and we go down the Nanxi River, we realize that there is just beauty everywhere. The color of the water, the mountains, the light, the clouds moving around, just beautiful. We arrived here in Nanxi Academy. It's like, well, I called my plot of land a nest of nurture. This place is like a nest of nurture, nurturing artists.
The landscape of Wenzhou is amazing and completely the opposite to the landscape where I come from. Norfolk, my home county, is mostly flat. A lot of farmland and coastline. We have a large amount of coastline. So I enjoy painting on the seaside, the cliffs, the beaches, and out across open farmland. Yongjia is full of beautiful and dramatic scenery. The scenery is quite incredible in terms of having layers of mountains, huge topography, and lush and green with enormous range of vegetation. So it's a beautiful place for me to come to somewhere so dramatically different and absolutely captivating in terms of its stunning natural elegance.
There's a vastness here. There is a vastness. When you live in a small island like I live in England, the vastness is not very vast. The mountains are lovely and large. There's a feeling of a vastness which is not experienced in England. This visit has given me an extra part of the world which is most delightful.
I feel how ancient it is. It's extraordinary walking through the forests, climbing the mountains, getting a sense of scale. In England, it's a much smaller country. The mountains are not as high as they are here, so that everything is much bigger. But there is this beauty, this extraordinary atmosphere and magical quality about the way that the rivers run through everything.
And what is a pleasant surprise is that what you have in your tradition from centuries ago, your deep poetic thought with nature as your guide and eternity as your key.
And to be able to recognise qualities of the mountains that I've seen in the paintings, the Chinese paintings, that's really wonderful.
What I really enjoyed was when we had a chance to watch the Chinese artists perform their calligraphy and the way they put the paint onto the rice paper. Because by looking at them you can get a sense that they have got a kind of language. That tradition has an elegance and to it which is unique to China. When I look at the paintings of Chinese, it's like the knowledge of this is the map in my head of where we went. It's a kind of like a cartoon. There's a journey that they're going on. So it's like a mind map, which is actually more informative than say a photograph of the place, because you only see a little bit.
The drawing I love from China, the ink paintings, I would love to absorb that into my work now.
What I found very interesting with talking with some of the Chinese artists was their approach to composition and how they incorporated symbolism and almost a spirituality into the works of art.
这条线要是没这条线呢，也可能也就那样，但是有这条线，哎，它让它丰富了，这个也是。
There's almost a sort of a subtle narrative going on within the work, and it's so steeped in history and tradition, and I just found that fascinating.
It's also been really interesting working alongside the Chinese artists and seeing the differences between the way we work. But I'm also looking at the sort of Chinese painting and thinking, maybe I need to pare down a little bit, maybe I have too much choice, maybe I need to sort of use that restrained sense of space and exact placement. So I'm really learning something alongside my kind of playful experiments that I'm doing while I'm out here.
really exciting and interesting to see some traditional Chinese painting, both old paintings but also to watch the Chinese artists work. The difference between the way that I work and they work in some ways is miles apart and in some ways quite close. I think that I don't have the same link to the artists of the past in England in the same way that the Chinese seem to have that connection with their handling of the ink and the brush and the mark. I have definitely gained some inspiration from my painting. I think, as I said, you know, I would like my work to be simpler, clearer, more elegant.
Yeah, everything gonna be alright this morning. I got a little woman, she in the town.
So I understand that the Chinese artists are coming to London next October and that there will be an exhibition. I'm very excited about this, and I understand that the British artists are invited to show their work as well alongside the Chinese artists. I think this would be so good.
For me, the opportunity to be invited to this exchange really is a trip of a lifetime. I would certainly say that for people in the West who have a desire to come and try and see what the Chinese landscape is like, whether they're artists or whether they're just tourists or travelers or adventurers, they absolutely should come to China and see the beauty, the natural beauty of the landscape.
当伦敦遇上温州是继去年的当巴黎遇上温州的第2场国际文化交流。那么今年呢，跟伦敦交流，其实也还是这个主题：山水画与这个英国的这个风景画之间的关系。英国在西方美术史上有举足轻重的地位。那么他们描绘这个西方风景呢，他们有他们的自己的独特的一种方式。那么这个是我们的一次，应该说一次巡礼啊。 就是让不同的艺术家，有不同的国家的人来表现这一方水土，中国的山川，然后来了解中国的哲学和中国的这种文化。中国山水画和西方风景画，它们两者有很大的不同。首先呢，我们现在所在的这个山川啊，地理地貌的不一样，我们是烟云供养的。那么西方的山川呢，就是早上有种薄雾的。 但是呢，它的山川没有那么大的跌宕起伏的状态。那么我们来表现这里的时候呢，它肯定会考虑到中国的山川和地理地貌的不一样。 第二个层面呢，就是在哲学的背景，也因为这样子的水土酝酿了不同的这种哲学。比如说，我们这个地方是永嘉学派的发源地，那么我们中国人的这种思维呢，它也属于一种象的思维啊，那么跟西方的逻辑思维有所不同。从希腊开始，他们的哲学、艺术它的传承的一个过程呢，在西方是一条线索。那么我们在中国呢，从传统的这种哲学开始，一直延续到现在，它又是另外一种思维的模式。那么这两者之间的碰撞，可能会有一种特别有意思的一种交流。因为中国的文化也是世界上各大文明当中唯一一个没有被断层的一条文明，将近5000年的文明都还延续着啊。中国人再往前数数十年的话，可能80%人都是从农村里出来的，大家都有一种农村情结。而作为英国人呢，他也是虽然在城市里面生活，但是呢，他也是向往这个乡村的。让英国艺术家和我们来的这10几个中国艺术家来体会中国农村的这种最天然的状态。中国人经常讲天人合一，那么这是一种人与自然最完美的结合。我想呢，这个世界艺术的交流路还很长，那么未来也是这个全球这个不管是经济也好，文化也好，它肯定会有一体化的一天。应该叫做人类艺术共同体，也叫人类艺术命运共同体啊。